On today's African savannas, we often see majestic herds of elephants, towering giraffes, and powerful buffalo grazing peacefully, the largest plant-eating animals still living on Earth. But if you could turn back time tens of millions of years and set foot on the ancient plains of South America, the scene would look completely different. Elephants wouldn't be there. Instead, you'd witness creatures of unimaginable size, as long as freight trains and weighing over 110,000 pounds. They moved slowly but with tremendous power, shaking the ground with every step, and leading this colossal parade was Argentinosaurus, one of the largest herbivorous dinosaurs ever to walk the planet. But Argentinosaurus wasn't just a massive creature. It was a symbol of grandeur, a living testament to the sheer creative power of evolution. In a world where size meant survival, Argentinosaurus rose to the top. The name Argentinosaurus, meaning Argentine lizard, comes from the country where its first fossils, was discovered, Argentina. This giant sauropod lived during the Late Cretaceous period, around 94 to 97 million years ago, a time when dinosaurs dominated nearly every ecosystem on Earth. When it comes to size, Argentinosaurus defied all standards. Scientists estimate it reached lengths of 115 to 130 feet, stood 23 to 50 feet tall, and weighed between 110,000 and 154,000 pounds, roughly equal to the weight of 10 full-grown African elephants. Only one other dinosaur, the mysterious Amphicoelius, is believed to have possibly grown larger, though fossil evidence for that remains scarce and debated. Argentinosaurus wasn't just another prehistoric animal, it was an icon. With its colossal body, towering neck stretching toward the sky, and a tail like a suspension bridge, it stood as the perfect image of an ancient giant, a masterpiece of evolution built to rule its domain. The first fossil of Argentinosaurus was discovered almost by accident in 1987 on a quiet farm in the province of Neuquén, Argentina. A local herdsman, while going about his daily work, stumbled upon an enormous fossilized object sticking out of the ground. At first he thought it was just a large piece of petrified wood, something not uncommon in this region. But what he had actually found was something far more extraordinary. A fossilized leg bone from a creature that had vanished millions of years ago. When paleontologists were called in to investigate, they confirmed that the bone belonged to a previously unknown species of dinosaur. Not long after, they uncovered a massive vertebra, nearly as tall as a grown adult, measuring around 5 to 6 feet, 1.5 to 1.8 meters in length. These early discoveries hinted at the existence of a truly colossal creature, a real-life giant of the prehistoric world. This species was later officially named Argentinosaurus huinculensis in 1993 by two renowned paleontologists, Jose F. Bonaparte and Rodolfo Coria. The fossils were excavated from the Huincul Formation, part of the Rio Limay subgroup, a geologic region in Neuquén famous for its rich collection of Cretaceous-era fossils. But the bones weren't the only astonishing find. At the same site where Argentinosaurus remains were uncovered, archaeologists also discovered thousands of fossilized dinosaur eggs, scattered across an enormous area. This wasn't just a few nests. It might be one of the largest dinosaur nesting grounds ever recorded. Some scientists have even called it a dinosaur egg highway, revealing a vivid picture of a long-lost ecosystem, a prehistoric South American paradise once ruled by titanic creatures. For decades, one question has baffled paleontologists. How could a creature as massive as Argentinosaurus, estimated to weigh up to 176,000 to 220,000 pounds, have possibly moved? With such an enormous size, simulating its movement seemed nearly impossible, at least until 2013. On October 30th, 2013, a scientific breakthrough occurred. Dr. Bill Sellers and Dr. Rodolfo Coria, published a groundbreaking study in the journal PLOS One, using advanced digital motion simulation technology to reconstruct for the very first time how one of the largest land animals in Earth's history might have walked. It wasn't just a scientific achievement, it was a leap forward in how we understand these prehistoric giants. Previously, estimates of how fast sauropods like Argentinosaurus could move were mostly based on bone histology and anatomical comparisons, methods that were often limited by incomplete fossils and the effects of fossilization over millions of years. This made interpreting actual movement more guesswork than science. But this time, scientists did something unprecedented. They built a complete 3D digital model of the Argentinosaurus skeleton, added muscles and joints based on anatomical data, and placed this digital dinosaur into a virtual environment. Then watched it walk. The method, known as musculoskeletal analysis, had been used in humans, early birds, and smaller dinosaurs before, but never on a creature of this scale. It required not just anatomical understanding, but also complex algorithms to calculate realistic movement based on joint positioning, muscle forces, and the massive weight the animal would need to support with every step. And the result? Surprisingly, Argentinosaurus could reach a top speed of around 5 miles per hour, roughly the speed of a brisk walk in humans. That might not sound fast, but for a creature over 115 feet long and weighing up to 220,000 pounds, just staying balanced and not collapsing under its own weight was an extraordinary feat. Study also revealed that Argentinosaurus evolved an incredibly efficient musculoskeletal structure, distributing weight and joint forces in a way that made such movement possible. However, the researchers noted that no modern land animal could reach such size without fundamental changes to its entire body structure. Otherwise, the joints would collapse under the overwhelming pressure. But the study didn't just produce numbers, it also generated a full animation of the simulated dinosaur walking, a majestic sight of a gentle giant making its way through the lush forests of the Cretaceous. More than a virtual time machine, it became a bridge between ancient life and cutting-edge technology. Thanks to this pioneering research, we no longer just know how big Argentinosaurus was, we now understand how it lived, how it moved, and how it once walked across the very earth we stand on today. Like all sauropods, Argentinosaurus was a strict herbivore. Its long, flexible neck allowed it to reach towering conifers as well as sweep across the ground in search of low-growing plants like ferns and shrubs. This feeding strategy gave it access to a wide range of vegetation without needing to move its massive body too much. Unlike mammals, it didn't chew its food. Instead, Argentinosaurus swallowed plants whole, allowing the fibrous material to travel down its incredibly long neck before reaching the stomach. Inside, digestion was aided by gastroliths, smooth stones that the dinosaur swallowed intentionally. These stones acted like grinding tools, churning and crushing the tough plant matter as the muscular walls of the stomach contracted. Estimates suggest that a single adult Argentinosaurus could consume between 6,000 and 8,000 pounds of plant matter each week. With such a vast intake, it would also produce over 2,000 pounds of waste in the same time frame, essentially fertilizing the land around it and playing a key role in nutrient cycling within its ecosystem. Although Argentinosaurus could grow to an enormous size, measuring over 100 feet in length and weighing tens of tons, its epic life journey began from an incredibly humble origin. Fossil evidence suggests that the eggs believed to belong to Argentinosaurus were only about 8.7 inches, 22 centimeters in diameter, roughly the size of a volleyball. From within that fragile shell, a tiny creature was born, carrying the potential to become one of the largest animals to ever walk the earth. To reach adulthood, an Argentinosaurus had to undergo nearly 15 years of growth, during which its body weight increased by approximately 25,000 times compared to when it first hatched. This is an extraordinary biological feat rarely seen in nature. During that time, the young dinosaurs needed to constantly seek out abundant vegetation, evade deadly predators, and rely heavily on the protection of the herd. It is believed that Argentinosaurus lived in large herds, possibly consisting of dozens of individuals, including both adults and juveniles. This social lifestyle not only helped protect the young from threats like Giganotosaurus, but also allowed the herd to migrate efficiently in search of lush vegetation to sustain their massive bodies. Each year during the breeding season, hundreds of adult dinosaurs may have gathered on flat, low-lying plains, ideal nesting grounds thanks to soft soil, safety, and proximity to water. There, they dug nests and laid eggs in large numbers, creating a breathtaking scene. Hundreds of closely packed nests, representing a new generation of giants being nurtured. However, not every hatchling was fortunate enough to survive. With high mortality rates due to predation and harsh environmental conditions, only a small fraction of those tiny beings made it through the early years of life. But those that did survive would slowly grow to become true giants, contributing to the legend of Argentinosaurus, one of the greatest animals ever to rule the earth. If you enjoyed this journey into the ancient world of giants like Argentinosaurus, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to Prehistoric Legends. Your support helps us keep exploring the most incredible creatures to ever walk the earth. Join our growing community of dinosaur enthusiasts and get ready for more epic stories from a forgotten age.